Hey there, Desai here. Have you ever played a game so obscure, yet so good, that you wonder how it never became mainstream? Space Rangers is exactly this kind of game. And today you are about to hear one of the most fascinating sci-fi stories you've probably never experienced. For the sake of this video, I will focus strictly on the story and surrounding lore of the first game. If you would like a deep dive into the sequels or a broader look at the unique mechanics that make Space Rangers truly one of a kind, consider subscribing. I will be covering those topics later this year. Also, Space Rangers is a non-linear sandbox simulation, meaning most of the stories are written by the player. Because of that, today we are sticking to the canonical lore only. Released in 2002, Space Rangers is a space RPG set in the year 3000. You play as a ranger, part of a newly formed volunteer force given only small ships, basic equipment and minimal training before being sent into the vast unknown. Their mission? Stop a cataclysmic force known as Klissans, who have been tearing through our galactic arm, wiping entire planets and star systems clean of life. How are the Rangers supposed to achieve this? Well, basically by any means necessary. Rangers are true freelancers. They operate with free trade licenses and virtually no regulations. No government dictates their actions or equipment. But while they enjoy the freedom, they receive no funding. Every credit comes from their own pocket. The reason for this is simple. The governments of the galaxy are already pouring everything they have into military fleets. And even that isn't enough. The Klissans keep advancing deeper into the Commonwealth territory. To understand what's at stake, we need to look into the past a bit. The Commonwealth is a union of 5 civilizations: Gallians, Fians, Humans, Pelangs, and Maloks. Each civilization is divided into star systems and largely self-governing planets. Alliances exist, but conflicts are common. Despite appearance, the Commonwealth is far from the perfect utopia. It's more like a loosely bound coalition held together by shared threats. Once space pirates, and now the Klissans. Think NATO, but on galactic scale. The Commonwealth originally formed during the golden age of piracy, when interplanetary trade became nearly impossible. Unified militaries eventually managed to crush the pirate menace. Today, a galactic council makes major decisions, wars between member worlds are forbidden. Diplomacy is mandatory, a rule many Maloks deeply resent. That's because the Maloks are physically dominant. Shaped by the brutal conditions of their homeworld, their culture worships strength, health and military power, while luxuries and drugs, even the mild ones, are banned. Science and diplomacy is tolerated, but mocked. Even though they are technologically behind, they possess the largest and most aggressive military. And dishonorably discharged Malok soldiers often became the galaxy's deadliest pirates. Next, we can look at Pelangs. Amphibious opportunists with virtually no moral compass. Their civilization resembles a cartel of governments and corporations driven purely by profit. They will trade anything and everything. Weapons, narcotics, you name it. Many Pelang pilots are pirates or thieves. And their politicians excel in espionage, which fuels their technological progress. At the center stand humans, the mediators of the Commonwealth. Their interconnected worlds thrive on free markets and diplomacy. Humanity created the standard galactic credit, the galaxy's primary currency. Yet their consumer culture often drives pilots, especially rangers, into debt and sometimes to piracy. Close allies of humans are Fians or Fae. Tall, fragile hermaphrodites with extraordinary intelligence. They can split their minds into multiple subconsciousness processes, making them unparalleled scientists. In fact, much of humanity's rapid technological growth stems from Fian's guidance. And finally, the oldest and most advanced race, the Gallians, also called the Children of Gal. Masters of genetic engineering, they crafted ideal physical forms for themselves and built a society of scholars, philosophers and doctors. Though now pacifist, their past was more expansionist. It was Gallians who perfected hyperspace navigation using neutron stars, and their revolutionary bubble technology, allowing travel across the whole Milky Way. That breakthrough would change everything. Using bubble drives, the Gallians reached another galactic arm and founded a colony in the Altan system. Not long after, they encountered Makhpella, a colossal sentient ship rumored to be the result of non-biological evolution. She traveled with smaller vessels called Klissans. Every attempt at communication failed. Makhpella attacked instantly and without any warnings. The colony's fleet were annihilated. Worse still, the Klissans exterminated all life on conquered worlds. Refugees fled back to Altan, begging for evacuation. But the Supreme Council made an unthinkable decision. Allowing the refugees home might lead Makhpella straight back to their galactic arm. So when Makhpella arrived, they forced their own star into supernova, destroying themselves and taking her with them. The few survivors who escaped convinced the Gallians to outlaw bubble technology and abandon further colonizations. For a time, the galaxy forgot about it. Until one Pelang changed everything. Rachekhan, a decorated Pelang fleet captain, stole the forbidden bubble schematics from an ancient Gallian archives. Using his influence, he built the engines and planted them on a space station, staged a rebellion, seized the station and vanished into hyperspace. Soon after, hyperspace travel grew increasingly dangerous. Ships disappeared into matter clusters, ambushed by Rachekhan's pirates. Learning of Klissans, Rachekhan journeyed to the distant arm and found another Makhpella, and attempted to steal her unimaginable weaponry. He barely escaped with Makhpella following him back. And then he devised a plan. Lure her into Commonwealth space and profit from the chaos. Thus begins the Klissan War. System after system fell, billions died, and even worse, the Klissans used conquered planets to create more of themselves, growing stronger with every victory. When the story begins, the Commonwealth controls barely 40% of the known territory. This is why the Rangers were formed. While the coalition military struggles to slow down the invasion, scientists race to decipher the Klissan language and build a mental communicator, a device that might finally allow contact. But research takes time the Commonwealth does not have. Rangers are tasked with holding the line, reclaiming systems, and delivering Klissan technology for reverse engineering. All that while Rachekhan's pirates ravage hyperspace roads. To combat them, the military awards proven Rangers a hyperspatial visor, in theory enabling them to locate and destroy his hidden hyperbase. Even with the visor, it's still extremely hard to even locate Rachekhan, and none of the Rangers are actually capable of succeeding at such task. But eventually, the communicator is completed. Now someone just has to find Makhpella and speak with her. One Ranger volunteers, pays the price for the communicator to be constructed and implanted directly into his brain, and then he tracks Makhpella down. To everyone's shock, she actually answers. Makhpella explains that she and her kind tried countless times to communicate with these strange ships in this region, but believed them infected by parasitic organisms crawling across local planets, and seeing herself as a protector against spreading infection, Makhpella chose extermination. The Klissans, she reveals, are not servants, but extensions of her own being, organs of a vast cosmic entity. Ships like her are born from nebulae and wander the universe. This is why the Klissans never reply. They are physically unable to do so. They are not sentient beings. The Ranger, realizing that those parasites, the organic life, are us. We are, in the eyes of Makhpella, the parasites that are infecting the ships. And so he explains the truth. The vessels are merely tools, and the so-called parasites are intelligent civilizations. They never meant her any harm. This war was a massive misunderstanding. A catastrophic one. Realizing she has wiped out billions by mistake, Makhpella expresses profound regret. She vows to leave a Commonwealth space forever and warn others of her kind that these gelatinous lifeforms are friends. The Ranger also reveals Rachekhan's deception. Makhpella helps to hunt him down, destroying the pirate threat once and for all. For the first time since the war began, the galaxy can breathe. The Ranger returns home with the report, and the Commonwealth is safe. Well, at least for now. This is the canon ending of Space Rangers 1, but not all endings are so hopeful. In some timelines, the Ranger never reaches Makhpella, and she eradicates all the sentient life in this corner of the galaxy. In another, the military and Rangers damage her enough to force a retreat into hyperspace, where they pursue and destroy her. Even after hearing the truth, a Ranger may choose vengeance and kill her anyway, or use her to help to eliminate Rachekhan, only to betray her afterward. And sometimes, Rachekhan escapes entirely, remaining a shadow in the void forever. And that is the story of the first Space Rangers. A war born not from hatred, but from misunderstanding. A reminder that sometimes the greatest threat isn't an enemy, but rather the failure to understand one another before pulling the trigger. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Subscribe for more content like this, and until next time, bye.